Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is such a nasty rainy day. They literally canceled like our classes, like some of them, but the university literally didn't cancel all of the classes for some fucking reason. And literally like it's a torrential downpour. It's supposed to be super bad like weather conditions, like literally in about 2 hours. It's already like raining pretty hard, and they haven't canceled classes even though like the government buildings have, like all the other colleges have, the school districts have in Richland County. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, today's story time is not going to be the most like dramatic one like I normally do. This is going to be a story time about my breakup and about how to detach and try to like move forward. So it's not going to be like super wild and fun and crazy, but feel like I've been being called to like talk about this. Like, I don't know, I really need to get this off of my chest, and I really want to share this because I feel like it may help other people as well as be like relief for me to get off my big silicone chest. So yeah, like I think that the first things first. So I'm 22, I'm about to be 23, so I'm starting to get old. I'm just kidding, but no, like, so I'm starting to like get older, and as I get older I kind of want like more from a relationship. I want someone who actually genuinely does love me and care about me, supports me, and is there for me. Like, I don't want just like, to go out and like we go party together and like sleep together and just all this stuff. Like, I really want someone to like I want to be able to look at you and like know that you love me. And I've just never had that. Like, I thought I did earlier back in 2023. I met a guy, sorry, it's kind of painful for me to talk about. So I met him back on Instagram back in like March of 2023. We dated for about 3 months, and I know that's not a very long time, but it kind of is in today's like dating world. But like it was intense. Like, I really do feel like we loved each other. I definitely know for a fact that I loved him like a lot more than he loved me, because like it was really funny how we originally met. So like I was back home in Clemson, like seeing my family, and he lived in Asheville. And so like, I was on Tinder, and apparently like I had come across him and I had like left swipe. So like whatever, and so I'm like sitting there on the couch, and I just remember getting like an Instagram notification, and it's from this boy, and I'm like, who is this little boy? So I went to go like, look, and he was just like, like flirting with me, and I'm like, who is this? So I went to go look, and he was like a swimmer or whatever. And I was like, okay, he's cute, like, so we ended up like, basically playing up to meet because we liked each other. And he lived 3 hours away, and he came down here. We like had a really good time. We ended up like doing edibles, and he got like really high and like greened out. It was his first time, and like I just remember this is like the first thing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and like skip to the end of the relationship just to like so you can understand, so you won't forget this. So like, whether how you like agree with edibles or not, or weed or whatever, he wanted to do it. He thought it was funny. I mean, we're both in college, it's whatever, and it was like legal THC. It wasn't even like actual weed. So we were doing that, and so like he took too much. I literally told him specifically not to, but he wanted to take like a whole one and like a little bit of another one, I think, so like a whole and a half. And it was like maybe like around, I would say like 250 milligrams, and it was his first time, so obviously it wasn't going to have like really good effects. I literally told him not to do it again, like for the third or second time. Like, I told him not to do it, but he did it. And like literally, I remember when we were breaking up, he had the audacity to say that like I was the reason he got sick, even though once he did get sick, because we ended up going to get Mexican, and once he did get sick, I took care of him. I cleaned up his throw up, I helped him like get out of his clothes, I let him sleep in my bed. I wasn't even going to do that. I was going to make him sleep on my couch because like I didn't know him that at the time, and I was gonna make him sleep on the couch because he had driven 3 hours, because I was just trying to be nice. And so I shouldn't have even done that, but I did all that for him just to have it thrown in my face. And I don't even think he really believes that. Like, I think he was just saying that to hurt me. Like in his head, like he has to know, like, I did not tell you to do that so you could get sick. Like, how would that benefit me? I literally cleaned up his vomit off of him, off of my toilet, and off of like the stuff in my bedroom, because he had threw up everywhere. So like, how does that benefit me? It makes no sense. And it was just other stuff. Like, I felt like one time he had called me when I was with my friends, and I couldn't talk on the phone right then. And so I feel like he literally punished me by ignoring me the rest of the night. And I just remember that was the first time that I felt so hurt by him, because that was the first like chronological time he had hurt me. I don't know if that's true, but it felt that way at the time, that he was punishing me for me not being able to talk. Because like me and this dude, we talked like all the time. Like I would get out of class and FaceTime him. He would get out of class, FaceTime me. We were so close to each other. And y'all, like I genuinely loved him. Like he made me smile more than anyone else. He helped me fall in love with myself more. And I mean, in a way, I'm not saying I'm grateful for the breakup, but I wouldn't be who I am now, and I wouldn't love myself as much. I mean, of course I loved myself, but he really helped me fall back in love with myself. And, you know, he meant a lot to me. And it's just wild how someone can go from doing that to like punishing you or treating you badly. And there was even another time, like, you know, he was telling me that, like, I'll tell you the worst part about all this. The most painful thing I've ever been told in my life, and not only in that relationship, but in my entire life, he told me that his friends and family he couldn't date me long term because his friends and family would not agree with the fact of like how I look and present myself and stuff, like the lip filler and the breast implants and like all this stuff. Like he apparently didn't think that they would like approve of like my style and aesthetic and just stuff about me. So like I've never in my life experienced that. Like someone you are in love with. I loved him. Like I genuinely loved him. And for someone to sit there and say, like, to act like there's something wrong with you. Like clearly you knew this is how I like style myself. I'm very dramatic and extra. Like you knew this was my style. You knew this stuff about me before you even slid into my DMs, but yet you did because you're selfish and you wanted to use me for what I could do for you for a few months. And that's how I feel. And y'all, I mean, it hurt me because he said that to me. I was literally leaving the Mario movie with my sister. We had stopped at a Quick Trip gas station. I remember having this conversation, crying with my boyfriend on the phone. And it was just the most painful thing, y'all. And just after that, it just wasn't the same, honestly. And then, because how could it be? You know, like he hurt me. Like, how could you say that to someone you're saying you also love? Like, how? You know, like, come on. And like it was just cruel and mean and unnecessary and just self-serving, and I don't get it, you know, and it's just disgusting. And so that happened, and then later on in the relationship, I remember like it was towards the end, and he would just respond less and less, like how they always do. And like it was just so hurtful. Like I felt so alone. There is not a worse feeling in the world than being in a relationship and feeling alone, because you might as well be alone, but you're not, because now you have these relationship responsibilities and stuff that you know, should upkeep, and you almost shouldn't because they're not doing anything for you. And it's just disgusting. And I just get tired of so much like bullshit, you know, with dating. And like, I just remember towards the end, like one of the final things that really happened, I knew it was over. He lived 3 hours away, like I said, and we would go back and forth. One weekend I would come, one weekend he would come, or like whatever, we would switch. And it wasn't a big deal, but I just remember like one time he canceled, and he never would have done that before. And I just knew it was over pretty much after that. Because it turned out like he went to Charlotte. So he lived near the Asheville area. He went to Charlotte. He said he literally had to go meet a professor for something, which makes no sense. Like what sense does that make? Like a professor does not live in Charlotte and drive all the way near Asheville. Like that's not how that's going to happen. That's a very far drive. So I knew he was lying about that. And then also like I was willing to drive 3 hours to help him pack up his room because he was having to move back home for the summer. So I was going to drive 3 hours to help this guy pack up his room and spend time with him, and then leave in the morning before his like family came to help him like pack everything, which was stupid anyway that I would have to even do that. But I was willing to do that for him because I loved him, and I was trying to make an effort at the very end to show him that. And it just wasn't good enough for him because he wouldn't let me come. He was like, no, I don't want you to drive for all of that. And he would not let me come, you guys. And after that, I just knew it had to be over. Because like a guy, or really anybody, who's going to refuse somebody that like somebody coming over that they have not seen in like a few months, well, not a few months, but a few weeks, and also like like to get help packing up, because nobody likes to pack up their furniture and stuff. And I was willing to do that for him. And this guy, like, I don't know, he was very like controlled. His emotions were very controlled by how his friends and family saw him, which was really sad. He told me some really personal stuff that happened to him, and I'm not going to speak on that, obviously, but I don't know, like, he's had some stuff that happened to him to where I, in a way, feel bad for him, because I feel like his friends and family are not actually in his best interest. I think they're just trying to get him to do things that they want him to do, and I think that's wrong. But at the end of the day, he did me wrong. He knew I loved him. He knew I was in love with him. He knew I would have done anything that I could have possibly done for him. And yet, at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough, because unless a guy wants to actually be with you, you or whatever you do will not ever be good enough. Let me repeat that again. If a guy does not want to be with you, no matter what you do or who you are, it will never, ever be good enough if they do not want you. So I learned that, and I just remember one day I literally like messaged him, and I was like, hey, I feel like the spark's gone. I feel like, you don't love me anymore. I just feel so hurt. And he literally agreed with it. And basically, like, I had to break up with him. Literally made me suffer for weeks and weeks, having to like eventually break up with him. And it was just like a really like stressful situation. Sorry, my camera messed up, but it was just like a really stressful situation. And it really hurt me, because I've never had to break up with someone, let alone someone I was in love with. So I don't know, like, it honestly changed me. And when I left him, it hurt me so badly, because not only did I have to do that, but he had the audacity to sit here and say, you should forgive me for what I've done, because it will make it easier for you to move on. And I will never in my life, as long as I will live, forget that, because I agree with the message, but it was not coming from the right person. Like, I loved you, and you abandoned me emotionally, physically, and in every other way. And I just don't think I could ever understand why someone could be so cruel and callous, because I remember the first time that I realized I was in love with this guy. We were sitting in this bed back here. We had just woken up. It was literally like morning light, and he told me that he thinks he loves me, and I was like, I love you too. And after that, like, our relationship just became beautiful. We started going on like little weekend trips together, and like I said, it was just very intense and emotional, and it was real. I feel like, at least for me, it was real. And so, like, I know I'm obviously young, like, I know I have my life ahead of me and all that stuff, but it just really is painful to be in a relationship with someone and have to break up with them, because I've never had to do that before, like I said. And yeah, it just really sucked. And so I went on to get in 2 different rebound relationships, and one of them hurt me very badly as well, and then the other one was just like a loser. And like, just, I don't know, y'all, it led me to a very dark place. In August, I'm going to be very vulnerable here, because I do want this to be real and raw and helpful. Back in August, I almost ended my own life, because I was so low from losing him and losing, these 2 other situationships I found myself in. I just felt so disempowered, weak. And my friends can even tell you, my best friend Abby, she was really there for me, and so was my friend Brian, and just all my other friends. They really know that was a very difficult time for me. And yeah, so it took a really long time for me to be able to get out of that depression, but I was eventually able to do it. And yeah, like, I feel like if you're able to master detachment, it makes it easier. Sometimes you have to be willing to just look at a situation for what it is. Like I said, someone who loves you would never ever put themselves in a position to lose you. And also, someone who loves you would never say the things that he said to me. I don't care how painful it could have been for your family to find out about something, or to dislike something, or whatever the wording was. It just could not be worth it. So, like, nobody deserves to feel like someone's like, little secret or their play toy or something like that. Because if you're going to live your life by your family's standards, then just have an arranged marriage, okay? Don't go through life making other girls suffer because your incapability to be a man is so low that it is in hell. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because nobody deserves to feel that way. I never would have ever let him feel that way. But yet he had no problem letting me feel that way. So, yeah, girls, I really think that mastering detachment and looking at stuff by, for what it is the best way to move forward on these things. I mean, I will always love him. I'm not going to lie to you. I will always have love for him. We had a really real relationship, I feel like, until stuff started happening. And yeah, it was just really painful. And so I know firsthand how a lot of women right now are going through things. I get on here all the time on YouTube, and I'll even get on TikTok and Facebook and just any social media app at all. And you just see people like being so upset. I mean, men and women, but I can only speak from like a women perspective. So that's what I'm speaking on here. But I see so many people in so much pain, and it genuinely brings me pain. And so I don't want anyone to feel that way. It sounds like the storm is starting. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but yeah, like I genuinely know how much pain that it can cause you when you love someone and they can't give you the same type of love in return, because some people just aren't capable of loving you the way you are able to love them. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, you guys. This is very vulnerable. It's not like a super like fun story time, but I want it to be beneficial for people, because I feel like so many people are going through similar situations. If you've had a breakup in the past year, or just in general, like I've said, I've seen so many people hurting recently. So I really want to put this out there. I really want to be real, raw, honest, all that stuff. So not a lot of jokes in this video, but I hope it was very beneficial for you. I hope that if you can relate, you are on a healing journey as well. I really do believe that everyone deserves happiness, and I really want people to understand that your words and actions can affect someone for the rest of their life, and I really want you to think about how you treat people. So yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was not as like ratchet and fun as my other videos typically are, but if you did like it, I would love if you would please share this, like it. This is a video I really want people to see. I think it would be very beneficial for a lot of different people, men and women, honestly. And so yeah, I really would love if you would please share this, like it. If you want to subscribe, do that too. My other videos are kind of more, funny ratchet story times while I'm in college. I mean, duh. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video and it really spoke to you, please consider subscribing or liking, like I said. So yeah, I hope you are all having a good day wherever you are, and I hope you are experiencing love, because you deserve nothing but the absolute best. And I love you, and I hope you all have a great, safe day, guys.